We are live here for another episode of Green with Envy. On today's episode, I'm joined by Alex Gonzalez. We are going to talk about Marcus Smart joining the Los Angeles Lakers, a potential trade of Anthony Simons to the Memphis Grizzlies, player returning. We'll talk about that. Jaylen Brown and George Niang seem to make up at Summer League, and we'll talk a little bit about life too, because Will's not here, and when the cat's away, they might as well play. So we're going to get into that and a lot more here on another episode of Green with Envy. You know the deal. Let's lock in. What's good, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Green with Envy. I am today's host, the coach, Greg Manakis, joined by our producer, Alex Gonzalez, who is being called into action because Will is on vacation back in Boston. He's back in the motherland. Shout out to Will. We miss you, buddy. Hope you're having a good time hanging with the crew and hanging with family. Alex, how are you doing considering the big news that dropped this week? Marcus Smart is being bought out by the Washington Wizards, and he's heading to the Los Angeles Lakers, of all teams, on a 2-year, $11 million deal. How are we feeling this morning?
I saw the news and I wasn't really that shocked, to be honest. This has been a pretty interesting offseason for the Celtics, so just another blow. Marcus Smart going to the rival Lakers. I saw that he was recruited by Luka, which was interesting. Because I feel like a Marcus Smart signing means more like a win now approach than a future approach. But so that was interesting. And I don't know, I like to see how he would fit in a Los Angeles Lakers uniform. Obviously, I'm not a fan of it. But at the same time, he's kind of looked like a shell of himself after he left Boston. So maybe a fresh start. And I think the Lakers are a better spot than Washington. I don't think anyone would want to go to Washington. And I live here, so.
Yeah, I really didn't want to see Marcus, wasting away whatever is left of his basketball career in Washington. He has not been healthy since he left the Celtics. There were rumors all around that when Marcus was kind of in his last year in Boston, we have access to some information and some chats with some insiders around the Celtics organization. And there was just some rumors of Marcus Smart having the body of like a late 30-year-old guy instead of a 30-year-old guy, and that they were just happy to kind of get off that contract a little bit before. And it's sad to see Marcus, have 2 years where he's completely riddled with injuries, not making any impact for the Grizzlies, and then he's wasting away on that Wizards team. The question was, should the Celtics have thought about a reunion with Marcus Smart instead of going to the Lakers? Because we did have, the mid-level exception available. There were rumors that we offered it to Dame Lillard, who ends up going back to Portland for whatever that's going to be. What are your thoughts on Marcus back on the Celtics versus Marcus in LA? Which would you have preferred?
I mean, selfishly, I'll say the Celtics. I mean, I always love watching Marcus Smart in Celtics green. He provides a sort of energy that I feel like this team might actually need next year, even if he comes off the bench and doesn't play like the normal minutes we were used to seeing him play as a starter. And I would have loved to see him back with Boston, but at the same time, probably for him, playing on the Celtics next year or playing on the Lakers with LeBron, who might retire. So that would be a special year just in general. And then to get to play with Luka, a generational talent, while Tatum's injured. And then the Celtics really just have Pritchard, White, and Brown next year. And then who knows about Simons? We'll get into that later. But for him, Lakers probably made more sense. I'd love to see Marcus, like maybe after this 2-year deal with Los Angeles, play one more year with the Celtics, kind of have like just like a final tour and then have a nice retirement. But I think for him, it probably made more sense to go to the Lakers than the Celtics, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree with that. And, Will and I had talked about this a little bit before the even rumors of Marcus heading to a rival were out there, where we were just like, you know what, maybe the memories are good in
Mhm.
themselves. We don't necessarily. There was a reason why the Celtics moved on from Marcus Smart,
Yeah.
right? There were some chemistry issues. They needed Tatum and Brown to step up into those leadership roles. We've seen the emergence of Derek White since Marcus left the Celtics, right? And White has worked really hard to kind of improve his skill set and take on
Yeah.
more responsibility on both ends of the court. But when you have this guy that's been there for all those years, as Marcus had been, and the Celtics made the playoffs every year with Marcus Smart because he is a floor raiser, right? But in terms of what the Celtics ceiling could be, especially for next year when we don't really have any intentions of contending, right? We're still
Yeah.
going to compete, but I don't think anyone's going to fool themselves into thinking the Celtics will be contenders next year. The only argument for bringing back Marcus, right, is to continue to raise that floor and also get asses in the seats because,
Exactly.
there's a lot of Celtics fans that are already kind of seeing the writing on the wall for next year. And, for my brother who owns season tickets, he's like, "Yeah, I'm probably going to be going to a lot of games next year. I don't know if I'm going to be able to sell these after profiting the last couple of years." So that
Yeah.
would be the one argument, is just like the culture and how the city would respond. But in terms of a basketball fit, I don't think it really made much sense to bring Marcus back, even at a reduced number. There's too many issues with, taking away playing time from a guy like Peyton Pritchard, who once again deserves to be the starting point guard next year. And I think he deserves his opportunity. You bring
Yeah.
Marcus back in, and now all of a sudden you're like, does it make sense to go back to that backcourt that we had 3 years ago with Derek and Marcus and
Yeah.
Jalen, and then kind of go from there? So I'm okay with the Celtics not bringing him back. It just sucks seeing him in LA, dude. Like,
Yeah.
even as a kid who didn't understand, I'm 36 years old. I've talked about this on the podcast before. I didn't really understand the rivalry as a kid. I even had a Shaq Lakers jersey because I was just a big fan of Shaq. Like, I loved him on the Magic. He was so cool. I loved all of his movies. He
Yeah.
went to the Lakers. My mom and my dad aren't like diehard Celtics fans. They were more like Red Sox fans. So, um, for me, hell no. If James is like, "Hey, can I have a Lakers jersey?" I'm gonna be like, "No, dude. Like, like, we'll get you a Celtics jersey. You don't need a Lakers
Yeah.
jersey." My parents were like, "Yeah, we'll just get Greg a Shaq on the Lakers jersey," right? So, like, even for me, who grew up like a fan of Shaq on the Lakers, I have grown in my appreciation of that rivalry. And this is just another example of a Celtics player who's an important part of the organization going to a rival franchise. And that is the thing that's continuing to kind of bug at me a little bit. We saw Rondo win a championship in LA. Now we
Yeah.
see Marcus there. We've seen other examples that we can talk about, but those are kind of my thoughts. How do you feel about what I said?
I think you're right. I mean, I'm younger, so I didn't really get to watch like the Celtics Lakers rivalry, even when it was like 2008, 2009, 2010 with like Kobe Bryant and then the big three. I was only like 5 to 7, so I wasn't really watching basketball. But that Celtic City documentary, when I really got to get into a deep dive of the Celtics history and then the Celtics Lakers and all those games, it does make me dislike the Lakers more just because I know there's so much history between those two teams. Uh, yeah, and I think you're right. Uh, I just think just for Marcus, it's probably better for him. And I was also thinking about this yesterday when he got traded. Uh, Probably another reason why he hasn't played the best is the mental aspect. I feel like you go to the finals with the Celtics in 22, and then you're one game away from making history in 23, coming back from down 3-0. Then they trade you, and then the Celtics immediately win the championship. You're probably thinking, was I the problem? Was I the reason we weren't winning? So I feel like that probably more than his injuries might have been more like just like mentally. I know he was probably happy the Celtics won, but I mean, it'd be hard to leave a team after being there for 8 years, in the playoffs every year, going to the finals, almost making history, and then you leave, and then they just immediately win.
Yeah, that's a good point. We always forget that these dudes are not robots, they're human beings. And
Yeah,
the emotional impact of something like a trade like that, we saw this with Isaiah Thomas, very similar situation, right? Is like the
yeah,
darling of the city, king in the fourth, and then he gets traded for Kyrie Irving and his career just goes in the shitter, right? I mean, Isaiah hasn't had a meaningful basketball moment since he left Boston, and Marcus was trending in that direction, right? So as a Celtics fan, it sucks to see him in LA, but as someone who appreciates Marcus and what he meant to the city, if it wasn't going to be in Boston, it sucks to be in LA, but like he's going to have some meaningful basketball left. And I think if the Celtics were competing this year, right, if Tatum wasn't hurt, then I
Yeah,
think it would be a little bit more difficult to see. But the fact that this is kind of a gap year for the Celtics, at the end of the day, I'm happy that Marcus is playing meaningful basketball because Isaiah hasn't had that opportunity, and I've wanted him to have that opportunity. People have talked about a reunion in Boston. They
yeah,
haven't pulled the trigger on that. Maybe it's the same idea. But I want to go back to other examples of Celtics players going to rival franchises. I know you're younger by almost 15 years than I am, but if we think back to that Big Three era, right? Ray Allen was a huge part of the Boston Celtics.
yeah,
He ends up leaving because of friction with Rondo, right? He ends up leaving, and Avery Bradley, not personally, but the fact that AB
yeah,
was kind of getting more playing time than Ray, he wasn't appreciating that. He ends up going to the Miami Heat, and he gets to play meaningful basketball for the Miami Heat, right? He ends up hitting that huge shot in Game 6.
yeah,
He kind of cements his legacy as one of the greatest shooters of all time. We've got Rondo, who joins the Lakers. This is 4 years, I believe, after he left the Celtics. He's on the Lakers. They win the title. Avery Bradley, who was previously mentioned, also played for the Lakers. He did not join the bubble, if I'm remembering
yeah. He
correctly,
was not on the
because
bubble.
yeah, he did not want. He was on the team but didn't want to go. Like I think he had some family issues going on. Al Horford joined the
Yeah,
Sixers. Right, he ends up getting traded to the Thunder.
yep,
Reunion back in Boston, and we all know that Al has played an integral part since he returned. And then now we got Marcus to the Lakers. So in terms of ranking these right now, I kind of just did the reverse chronological order there. What do you think is the most painful to think about?
Uh, I think probably at the time Al annoyed me the most because I hate the Sixers. The Sixers are my least favorite basketball team. Although there was that article about Joel Embiid, like an hour long read that I've heard is really good and gives like a different insight on him. So maybe my opinion on him will change when I read it. But
I think I need
still,
an hour long on George Niang because I don't think
yeah,
that I
yeah,
think if he's going to be on the team, I need something to convince me. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah. But I think Al probably didn't Ray immediately go from the Celtics to the Heat and then they won with him. Or am I mistaken?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
joined he joined that big three.
yeah. And
I
then they
think they
won some.
won no, I think that was his first year where he hit the shot.
Yeah. So I think that one probably hurts the most. I think because Marcus was the Grizzlies wizard, so he was already on two teams. Rondo, he was on the Bulls. I know that. And I think he went to maybe one or two other teams before he joined the Lakers. Uh, and then Isaiah Thomas. Well, not Isaiah Thomas, but uh, yeah. So maybe Ray Allen. Although when I was that age, just like how you got a Shaq Lakers jersey, I actually had a Ray Allen Heat jersey just because I love the way he shoot the basketball.
Yeah.
And but I mean, yeah, I think if you're ranking all those, Ray Allen's probably top. Marcus is in the middle, and then Al's above Marcus. So somewhere
Yeah,
like
I think those like the immediacy of somebody
that.
joining a rival is the part that hurts the most. I'm a big Red Sox fan. This happened with Jacoby Ellsbury, where
Yeah,
Jacoby Ellsbury went from the Red Sox to the Yankees, and it was just like, what the fuck, dude? Like, how are you gonna do that? But it happens all the time. I just wish Marcus the best in LA. Like, honestly, dude,
yeah,
like it sucks that he's gonna be with the Lakers. He has an opportunity to play meaningful basketball. He's not in the East. I think if he had joined a team like the Knicks, right, this
mm,
year, I would have been like,
yeah,
come on, dude. Like,
yeah,
really? You're gonna be going, we're gonna have to see you 4 times a year. We don't have to see him twice. And he's gonna be out in the West. And the
yeah,
Lakers needed somebody like Marcus. I think the basketball fit in terms of what they needed is actually sneakily a good fit for Marcus playing alongside Luca, LeBron. Reeves and Marcus is questionable there, but in terms of like putting out a defensive lineup that is actually going to be able to make an impact, I think if you have Reeves on the bench, you have Marcus, Luca, LeBron, Rui, and Vando, or some lineup like that. I think that's actually pretty interesting. Obviously, they got DeAndre Ayton, so they've done some good things out there. Jake LaRavia for the Lakers as well. So
Yeah.
they've definitely got some lineups that they can go to now where they're not just going to be, an open faucet. I think they're going to be able to turn that faucet off a little bit. Anything else on the Marcus you want to talk about?
I'm just glad he got out of Washington, to be honest. I don't know what that team's going to look like. I mean, they're like half 19 to 22-year-olds, and they're half like 30-plus-year-olds. So I don't really know. So I feel like he goes to the Lakers, even if they're like a 6th or 4th seed, he'll still be playing meaningful basketball. And I know he's going to be on ESPN probably 30 times. So I'm glad he got out. I'm glad he got out of DC.
I've got I've got a couple comments here. One from Nathaniel Crenshaw. He says, hopefully Tatum or JB doesn't go to the Lakers. He also asked a question: who do you guys think is the greatest Celtics player ever? I think it's Larry Bird or Bill Russell. Yeah, we can hold off on the greatest Celtics player ever. I think there's a pretty big argument that it's Bill Russell just for everything that he did for the city, and he won a shit ton of championships. We have a comment from Bone Aroni. Is this real or clickbait? I'm not sure what that means because
if he's talking about Marcus Smart, it is real. He was traded or he signed with the Lakers yesterday. If you were talking about our opinions, these are also real. So both there.
real opinions, not generated by ChatGPT. Okay. Another little bit of news and notes. So the Celtics this offseason obviously made a big deal trading Drew Holiday for Anthony Simons. After Drew's medicals come out, the 2 second-round picks that were coming back to the Celtics in that deal get washed away because Drew's medicals obviously weren't good enough for the Trailblazers, right? So it ends up being a 1-for-1 swap. Celtics end up saving, I think, like $5 million, $6 million in that deal. There have been rumors that Anthony Simons is not long for Boston. And a recent rumor that's come out is a deal between the Boston Celtics and the Memphis Grizzlies, where the Celtics would be trading Anthony Simons in his expiring deal of $27 million for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and his 2 years remaining at 21. So the Celtics would save another $6 million in this deal. Alex, initial thoughts?
I mean, I prefer to have Simons on the team next year. I don't know what the Celtics are going to look like. I don't even know if the basketball is going to be enjoyable to watch. I've been so used to the past, basically a half decade, where I know the Celtics are going to have a good chance of winning any basketball game I watch. And I know they're going to play pretty solid basketball. Next year, I keep thinking about our lineup, and I'm like, do we have the worst center rotation next year in the
Yes.
NBA?
Answer, yes.
Yeah. So what's the point of getting Kentavious Caldwell-Pope other than just saving $5 million? I feel like you let the younger guy Simons, you just let him. I mean, he was a great shot creator in Portland. You let him do the same thing he was doing there. Maybe under Joe Mazzulla and with players like Derek White and Jaylen Brown, he can improve on the defensive end. And then maybe you can get a team-friendly deal, or you move him at the deadline. I feel like there's no point of trying to move off him now before he even plays one game for the Celtics.
Yeah, I've been trying to think about the reasons why the Celtics would want to go KCP over Simons. I think the cost-controlled nature of KCP for 2 years versus Simons being expiring, and maybe you have to pay him more than what you're paying KCP next year could be the argument there, right? If we're getting word from Simons' team, especially where more teams have cap space next summer, that Simons is like not going to come for less than $30 million. You might want to go KCP at 21 for the following year, right? And that's where the argument kind of comes in. Basketball fit, KCP is a much better defensive player. I'm not sure if you can change the layout here and pull up that comparison, Alex, as I'm talking here between Simons and KCP. But with KCP, the true shooting percentage being higher than Simons, there's a lot of factors that go into that number, including 3-point percentage and free throw percentage. Simons is a better shooter than KCP. He's a much more versatile shooter. He's a better shooter off the catch. He's a better shooter off the dribble. He can create his own shot, which I think is something that the Celtics are going to desperately need next year without Jason Tatum. We just don't have a lot of guys that can create their own shot. And shout out to my guy, T.E. Nelson, in the YouTube comments, who left over 80 comments on 3 videos on how much he loves Jaylen Brown and how much Jason Tatum sucks. My guy, If you're asking Jaylen Brown to create all of the shots for everybody else, that is just like a whole nother level that JB, even as great as Jaylen is, as much as I love Jaylen, we need somebody else to create shots. Derek White is not a shot creator.
Yeah.
Peyton Pritchard is the next best shot creator on the roster right now, next to Jaylen Brown, right? So it goes Jaylen Brown, Peyton Pritchard, Derek White. Those are your shot creators right now. I
Yeah.
think you need Simons for next year just to have a passable offense. Like, I really do think if you want to put a decent product out on Anthony Simons has to be a part of that.
Yeah.
KCP, it's purely financial. I think like for the year Tatum comes back, there's an argument that KCP is a better fit. But for next year, my God, I don't know that I want to see an offense where it's just Jaylen Brown and Peyton Pritchard, because defenses are going to load up on those guys, and it's going to be a rude awakening for when an entire game plan is built on making you do everything, like in taking away the Jaylen Brown pet
Yeah.
spots on the floor, taking away all of Peyton Pritchard. Instead of playing against second units, now he's playing against game planned first units. It's a whole different world.
Yeah. That's another thing. You talked about it last podcast, how JB could find the holes in Tatum's game by playing off of him for so many years, but at the same time, I feel like it is going to be an adjustment for him to be the number one option and to have defenses targeting him every single game with no JT to shield behind. Uh, and I think at the beginning he might have a little bit of a turnover problem, but I think he will grow a little bit into a distributor next year. I know Ted Olson thinks he's going to get about 6 assists a game. I think his stat line prediction was 37 and 6. I don't know if that's possible. I was thinking more like 26, 27, maybe get up to 5 assists. He was at 4.5 this year, so I think 5 is pretty doable. And then rebounds, I don't think he really cares about those. But I think him as a distributor, improving in that aspect, and then just being more efficient, he could be pretty solid. But I don't know. I don't know about all NBA first team.
Yeah, I mean, if Jaylen has a super healthy year, right? If his body holds up over 82 games, I
Yeah.
think he could put up I think he will, not could. I think he will put up the best numbers of his career, just pure counting stats. I could see a 28, 6 assists, and I think the rebounds are probably going to come down because he's got
Yeah.
so much more that he has to do, and just like different places on the court, right? Like he's going to be guarding different people. He's going to be with the ball in his hands versus off ball, not be able to get like offensive rebounds, things like that. So I think those rebounds might come down a little bit, but I could see a 28, 6.5 assists and 4.5 to 5 rebounds out of JB.
Yeah.
And I could see if other people get hurt, as everybody does, I could see a world in which JB is in the first team All NBA conversation. To say that's the expectation, that's where I think
Yeah.
us and T.E. Nelson, however you say his handle, differ, right? And shout out
Yeah.
T.E. Nelson. We're giving you a lot of love right now. We
We
appreciate
are.
the engagement on the YouTube videos. But we love Jaylen Brown. I love Jaylen Brown,
Yeah.
but you got to keep your expectations in check as to who he is as a player. And if you think second team All NBA is not good, then you're just a crazy person.
Yeah.
So I think that's where we kind of stand. We've given T. Nelson enough love.
Yeah.
Alex, any other thoughts?
All I'm going to say is second team All NBA means top 10 player for the season. That's all that means. So if you think that's disrespectful, I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. So in terms of where you fall for next year, if you gun to your head, KCP or Simons, what are you taking?
Simons. I'd rather watch him jack up 20 shots a game and at least have some fun watching him than watching KCP, to be honest. For the future and money aspect, I understand. If you're like thinking towards next year, we're not going to be good this year. We might try to go for a lottery pick and you want to have a pretty strong team next year. I can see it. But for my viewing experience this year, I prefer to see Simons on the court. How about you?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Simons just so that we have a passable offense. We're gonna be covering the Celtics 82 games, and if I have to watch KCP for 82 games in a role that's just beyond what he's capable of, I think that's just gonna be too much for me, to be honest with you. Yeah, but I think for the following year, I think that it's actually pretty interesting to think
Yeah.
about how KCP could fit, because we've seen him work in LA, we've seen him work in Denver. He can definitely be a part of a championship team. It's just the Celtics aren't a championship team next year, so I'd rather have the fun guys on the court.
Well, I
All right.
got one more thing.
Yeah, go for
I think it's also funny how we now have Niang, who had the whole incident with JB, and then there's a chance we get KCP, who started the Tatum injury train this postseason. So I mean, it'd be interesting to have them both in the Celtics green.
Yeah, KCP was definitely a villain in that series against the Magic. There's some bullshit out of KCP, bullshit out of Niang, but let's just get there, man. Let's talk about
Yeah,
Niang. I've been all on the I hate George Niang train, but there was video coming out from NBA Summer League of Jaylen Brown and George Niang dapping it up, and it looked cordial,
yeah,
right? They were smiling at each other. They're teammates now. I'm going to have to come to terms with George Niang probably being on the Celtics next year. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of rumors about him being moved before the season starts. I'm still holding out hope that we never have to watch him for the Celtics, but I'm coming around to the idea that if George Niang and Jaylen Brown can make up, and George Niang does fill a need for the Celtics, because we don't really have a true four, and George Niang is probably the closest thing we have to a true four on the roster. With NBA experience, Luka Garza could definitely play the four, but he doesn't have a lot of experience. George Niang can shoot the three,
yep,
can't guard anybody. But if George Niang is our starting power forward this year and Jaylen Brown is cool with it, I'll be cool with it too.
yeah. I mean, I feel like they're not gonna like hate each other, at least outwardly. I mean, it's fine. I still saw all the comments on that post were all still negative about George Niang for the
Yeah.
Celtics, but yeah, it's just gotta come to terms with him being on our team. That's all it is. I mean, he is a good shooter. I'll give him that. But other than that, I don't really like him. So
Yeah, he's definitely a good shooter. And, I'm going to make a transition here for my guy, Bonaroni, in the chat. From one chubby guy to another chubby guy, let's talk about Kenny Lofton Jr. this summer league. Kenny Lofton Jr., who is the MVP in whatever overseas league he was playing in this past season, has all the talent in the world.
yep.
He says, give me a quick take on Kenny Lofton, number 50. For the Celtics Summer League. Kenny Lofton he's a talented dude, man. He's a lefty, ground bound, kind of in that Jared Sullinger type role, but with a lot more talent with the ball in his hands. The Celtics Summer League, when they give Kenny Lofton Jr. the ball, everybody just like sprays out to the 3-point line. They give him all the room in the world. Chubby ground bound Zion. Is that what we're thinking here in the
Yeah.
Summer League? Like, I don't know, man. There's a lot that Kenny Lofton Jr. offers to a team, but there's a reason why he has not been in the NBA over the last couple of years. It's because Duke can't get in any sort of passable shape. I would take a flyer on him this year. I think
Yeah.
if we're gonna take a flyer on Luka Garza and Josh Minott, let's take a flyer on Kenny Lofton Jr. Throw him out there. Let's see what he can do.
I think this year we should just let anything fly. If you think someone has even a little bit of potential, throw them out there just to see what happens. I mean, there's no negative. I can't really see a negative to throwing Kenny Lofton out there off the bench and just seeing what happens. And if it doesn't work out, you can put him on the main Celtics, or you can just move off of him. I think that's fine too. And then with our worst center group ever of my entire life, might as well. If you have a guy who's bigger, he's a little bit smaller, but he's definitely size-wise as big as any center. So I feel like you throw him out there and just see what happens.
Yeah, we got a comment here from Costas Zumas. He says Kenny Lofton is cheeks. Kenny Lofton has cheeks, and Kenny Lofton has big cheeks.
That's my boy Costa.
That's your boy Costas.
Yeah.
Shout out to Costas. Another comment from Bonaroni. Hit some threes, good assists, needs to get in shape. He's missing out. Yeah, he's missing out on his own potential. But I think, this happens with a lot of dudes when they come into the league and they're used to being the man, and they come into the league and they don't have that opportunity. How can you adjust your game to actually carve out a role in the NBA. There's nobody that's out there saying Kenny Lofton Jr. is not talented enough to be in the NBA. It's just like his talent is it needs to have the ball in his hands, right? He needs to kind of be the center of what's going on out there on the court. He doesn't play great off the ball. So if
Yeah.
that's the idea, it's like, can you build any sort of passable 5-minute a game offense around Kenny Lofton Jr.'s strengths? And the answer is probably right. He's just not good enough to do that. So if he's not good enough to do that, then like, what is his role in the NBA? I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I hope he works out somewhere because I am actually a fan of his game, and I like seeing lefties for one. And I like when like chubby dudes get out there and do their thing. I think it's funny just to see a world, a court full of like the best athletes in the world. And then you just got a chubby dude running up and down the court. I always find it funny. That's why I think Jokic is so interesting to watch.
Yeah,
Just
for
because
real.
he's like not in great shape and he's still able to be the best player in the entire world. It's just such a funny juxtaposition there.
It really is. He's awesome. I love watching him play. My favorite Jokic play is like when we're 1 to 2 seconds left on the shot clock, and he kind of just does that catapult fadeaway three, and it just switches in, and there's nothing anyone can do about that.
Yeah, it's so great. All right, we got a question from your boy Costas. He says, genuine question. I don't know if y'all talked about this. We did not talk about this, Costas. Did we want Dame to the Celtics? We've talked about it in the past, didn't talk about it today. So let's just get to that. Dame Lillard, who was being rumored to come to Boston. There are a lot of people out there that said it was a done deal. All these like people on Twitter that pretend like they have sources when they really don't. They just throw shit at the wall. And if somebody ends up going through with like a widely rumored thing to happen anyway, then they take all the credit in the world for it. Doesn't always mean it's going to happen, right? Dame Lillard ends up going back to the Portland Trailblazers on a 3-year deal worth around $42 million. There were rumors that the Celtics actually made a offer to Dame to come to Boston, either the taxpayer mid-level or some exception that the Celtics had. What are your thoughts, Alex? Because Kostas is your boy. What are your thoughts on Dame going to the Trailblazers, and did the Celtics miss out by not signing him?
I actually think it's okay. I think it's funny, first off, that now Drew and Dame are both on the Blazers when that was the trade 2 years ago. For Dame, I think it's good. I mean, his whole family's in Portland. I mean, he was there for basically his whole career, and then he went to Milwaukee. So I think for him, it's good. I think the Blazers will be pretty decent this year, and then by the time he comes back next year, he can definitely have an impactful role on that team. It's kind of the same thing with KCP for this year. I just don't think it would have made sense to have Damian Lillard on the Celtics because I know he's not going to play this year. So just having him, when you were saying like earlier about the roster spaces, how that's now 2 spots taken up for people who are just not going to play. I think that in that aspect, I didn't like it. But I mean, having Damian Lillard, who's just a shot creator who can make any shot and is one of the best, most fun NBA players to watch. Next year, it would have been nice to have Damian Lillard on the Celtics. But I think for him, Portland, although I didn't see the fit at first, I thought about it a little bit. I think it makes sense for him to go back.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with Dame not coming to Boston. 2 players that you're counting on in your top 7, because Dame would be in your top 7 there to, coming off of Achilles injuries. It's just a lot to ask of both of those dudes, and Dame already being in his mid-30s to come back from an Achilles injury. Like, if he's even 70% of Dame Lillard that he was in Portland, I would be surprised, to be honest with you, because, he's a second-team All-NBA guy while he's in Portland, and he goes to Milwaukee. The fit never, even though the numbers are pretty good, the fit with Giannis just like never quite worked out. He ends up with the deep vein thrombosis that Wemby had, comes back, fights back from it, and ends up tearing that same Achilles where he had the blood clot, which is just really fucked up. But all the rumors were that Dame just like missed his life in Portland, right? He missed his kids, he missed his family, and he got divorced when he came to Milwaukee. He was going through a whole bunch of personal shit. So I think just like resetting himself, we talked about Marcus and the emotional impact of being traded, right?
Yeah.
sometimes you don't know, what you miss until it's gone. And that's what happened with Dame. He was like, damn, like I miss Portland. I miss being around my kids. It sucks. That was clearly the priority for him. So shout out to him. I don't know that I'm going to go as far as Jordan's used cigar, who says, Dame back to Portland makes my dick hard for real. Okay. All right. Jordan's used cigar. Shout out to you. Whatever floats your boat, my guy. Birkin.
Chat's active today.
Chat is active. Chat is rock hard today. All right. Birkin Altanox says at this point, Dame equals Kemba. Yeah, that's actually a decent comparison there.
I have one more thing about
Dame.
Go for it. There was LeBron had his podcast with Kevin Durant and Steve Nash, and they were talking about how Durant comes back from that Achilles, and he said, especially for Dame next year, how like pushing off that calf, like immediately when he came back, like that calf was nothing. So Dame's patented move is that step back. So it's going to be really hard for him when he comes back because you have to build that calf all the way back up to the same point as that other calf. And I don't know if he'll be able to get, even when he fully recovers, there's going to be like a difference in strength from his left leg to his right leg. So that'll be interesting to see. I don't know if he'll be able to shot create at the same level that he did this year or years previous. So that's another interesting thing to look at. I thought Kevin Durant's like analysis of his Achilles injury and how like he came back in that podcast was pretty interesting. So
yeah, I'll definitely have to go listen to that. I haven't listened to that episode yet. Okay. One last thing before we do our little trivia game that I would love for the chat to hang around with.
Yeah,
Alex has, the chat. We'll give the chat some time to answer these questions as well. So if you like trivia, this is sort of trivia. It's like a visual trivia that you guys can participate in. But Alex, I just wanted to ask you really quickly, did you see Shane Gillis's opening monologue at the ESPYs?
I didn't watch the ESPYs, but I saw all the highlights after. I thought he was hilarious. I thought the crowd was not as good. I thought his jokes were pretty good. And I enjoyed it.
Was there anything, obviously, stand-up comedians, it's all about, finding where the line is, right? You always want to toe the line because if you're not walking up to the line, you're probably not going to stand out, right? That's the whole point of stand-up comedy is like towing the line, going over and be like, ooh, that was too far. Let me come back. Was there anything that you felt like was just way too far beyond the line?
No, I didn't think there was anything like too far. Did you think there was anything that was too far?
Personally, I'm not really offended by anything, so no. But in terms of like where we are as a culture, I think the Caitlin Clark, working at the Waffle House was probably that was the one joke where I was like, that's just a little bit too far. But overall, I thought Gillis was really funny. The Bill Belichick thing was my favorite part where he talks about a bookie. A bookie is what Bill Belichick reads to his girlfriend before bed. The very horny caterpillar. Like that was just unbelievable.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that was great. I'm a big fan of stand-up comedians. I think the idea that stand-up comedians are like now influencing people's politics is like probably a little bit too much. I think people are like reading too much into those people's opinions. It's just supposed to be entertainment and it's supposed to be funny. But anyways, I digress. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. Let's get into trivia here because this is actually going to be pretty fun. I don't know if I'm going to be good at this, but maybe the chat will be.
I won't be able to read or see the chat, but we'll see how this goes. All right, this is called Jump Shot. It's a website. They also have the same thing for baseball, where you can guess baseball swings. And basically, not this, goes like this. You see the play, and you have to guess who you think this is. And I can help too, because I actually don't know who this is right now.
Okay. All right, so this is going to be a very visual part of the podcast. So for those of you that are listening on the audio, this would be a good time to head to our YouTube channel at Green Envy Pod. Make sure that you are subscribing to that. Make sure you're following us on social media as well at Green Envy Pod. Alex, I always forget what your Instagram handle is because it's like, where's the 0? Boston Celtics 44.
It's the first O, I believe, is the 0. B0 and then stun Celtics 44.
Okay. All right. So right now we have a player doing a overhand push cross to a pull up jumper.
Yeah.
Is this a current player?
Yeah, these are all current players. This
Okay.
looks more like a small forward, definitely a taller player.
All right.
Um,
I'm gonna let you go first. Do you have the answer?
I don't actually. I'm trying
Okay.
to figure it out.
My first thought was like it's kind of like a Lou Williams, Richardson type of
Yeah,
body, like lanky. But I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure on this one.
we can just fire out like a player that you might think it'd be, and then it'll give you the number, team, division, born. Like if any of those are right in the positions.
Okay, I'm gonna go Josh Richardson.
Okay, is he still in the league?
I think so.
Ooh, I don't think he is.
Okay. Okay, then I was clearly wrong.
uh, I don't know who this is.
I see a Karis LeVert in the chat.
Yeah, let's fire out Karras.
Okay.
Okay, so he's in the East. He was born in the USA. He's either younger or older than 30 by 3 years, and he's probably a power forward because it's not.
Okay, and it says he was on the Hawks.
No,
He is on the
he's
Hawks.
not on the Hawks. He's not on the Hawks. He's in the Eastern Conference, but he's not in the Eastern Conference Southeast Division. So he's in
Okay.
the other two. But I don't really know the division, so that doesn't really help me at all.
Interesting. Man, this is a tough one, dude. Shit. This is horrible podcast content.
I don't. Yeah, I know. I don't. I think I might throw out Tobias Harris. I don't unless they're in the same division.
Let me see. No, I think Tobias is a little bit more of like a pogo jumper.
Yeah,
that like the thing that's standing out to me is if you watch his right foot when he shoots, the way that his right foot kind of slides forward.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's the kind of signature to that jump shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, this is tough. Yeah, I don't mind a Hallie. It's not Hallie because that's too pretty of a jumper, but let's just throw that out there.
He is in the Central, but he's not in the Pacers.
Okay, he's in the Central, not on the Pacers. I don't even know who's in the Central, dude.
Right. Let's look at the Eastern Conference Central. This is unfortunate start here.
Unfortunate start, but this is why you should come to our YouTube channel because it's a little bit more interesting when you're actually thinking of
any comments from chat.
Costas, he said Strus, definitely not Strus.
Yeah, it's not Strus.
I see Donovan Mitchell from Birkin Altanach. I don't think it's Mitchell just because he's too skinny, right? This dude's definitely.
It's also not a point guard, shooting guard. I think it's a power forward.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. Or small forward, power forward.
Okay, you said it's in the Central?
Yeah, it's either Bulls, Cavs, Pistons, or no, Bulls, Cavs. Yeah, Bulls, Cavs, Pistons, or Bucks.
Bulls, Cavs, Pistons, or Bucks. Maybe Pistons?
Yeah.
Let's see. What about Thompson?
Sorry. Sorry. I always forget.
Kuzma's not a bad one.
Ooh. That actually could be Kuzma.
Well, okay, so let's look at the next one.
It was on the Pistons. Pistons, power forward. Yeah. It's not a small forward, power forward.
So is it Tobias? Are you going to be right on this?
I don't know. I don't think it is. Let's see. It was.
Damn,
it was Tobias.
My bad,
dude.
My bad.
Okay.
You had it. You had it all along.
All right. So we got that one in 4. That wasn't that bad. We'll do a couple more. That's OG Anunoby. I already know it.
Okay. Crushing it.
That was too easy. I feel like that's part of my problem. I can just identify these people by like 2 seconds of game film sometimes. Ooh.
I'm not getting a good video of this.
Isn't that
slow jumper? Looks like
that looks like a guard.
You think so?
It was catch and shoot. I have no idea who this is.
Yeah, I don't really know who this is. Easy. Thomas Bryant?
Ooh, I actually like that.
No,
Okay, so
not even
he's
close.
in the West, not a center. Born in
Okay.
the USA, but that doesn't really help anything.
In the West. Let's go. Chat, what are we thinking here?
It's a slower jump shot. He must have been wide open. So maybe
Right.
not
Yeah.
the
Someone
best
who
3-point
doesn't
shooter,
get
jump shot
guarded
shooter.
much.
Yeah.
Let's see. Somebody on. This could be anybody in the league. This is a cool little website. I like this.
Yeah. They also added a
I
new
honestly
one.
thought I'd be better at this than I have
I
been so
know.
far.
Some of these are tough. They added
Ooh,
a
I
new
like that.
one.
Gabe Vincent. Shout out to Costas. I
Ooh,
like that a lot.
close. West Pacific. Born in the USA. I don't know who's in the West Pacific. I think that's what is that? Lakers, Warriors, Clippers,
Pacific.
Suns. Lakers, Warriors, Clippers, Suns. I'm looking it up.
Yeah, Lakers, Clippers, Warriors, Kings, Suns.
Kings. I don't even know who's on the Kings.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Kind of got a Pat Bev's not in the league anymore, is he?
No, he's not in the league. No.
Yeah.
He signed with some team in Greece, I remember.
Ooh, I like that. DeRozan.
Oh. Ooh.
Ooh, nice.
Okay. Number 10, 35 years old. He's just not on the. Who's number 10 on the Suns, Clippers, Warriors, or the Kings?
Okay. So not on the Kings.
Not on the Kings, but basically everything is right. I think he's.
So he's either on the
small
Clippers,
forward.
Warriors, or Suns.
Yeah, I think he's a small forward.
Okay. Clippers, Warriors, or Suns. Moody?
I actually like that. Ooh, it is on the Warriors though.
I thought
Number 10 on the Warriors?
Who's number 10 on the Warriors?
I'm gonna be really mad if I don't get this.
I see a
have the
Bradley
team in
Beal
them.
call out. I see a Jimmy. Ooh, it could be Jimmy.
Yeah, no, that is Jimmy. That's Jimmy.
Yep.
It's Jimmy. Oh my goodness. How did we not get that? And he was wide open. Yeah. Okay.
Good call. Good call.
Yeah, good call. All right, we'll do one more and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay. This man, I'm really upset how bad I am at this. I thought I'd be better at this than I am.
Maybe if we get an easy one. Oh my god, that's not an easy one.
Tough. Okay. This is a
taller,
skinny. Oh, I feel like I know this.
Lengthy, skinny. He stuck his right foot out after he landed. And he was contested, probably coming off a screen.
I mean, let's just go. I don't think it's KD, but let's just go KD.
Yeah, I don't think I got Kevin Durant's one earlier, and it was different than this.
Okay,
but I like so right position. He's in the East.
He's in the East. Okay.
Yeah.
Because my next thought was going to be like McDaniels.
Oh, I feel like I know who this is.
I don't think it's Turner. I think that's too quick of a shot to be Turner. Yeah. But Lau Coulibaly.
Ooh, I think that's
like
right.
That.
I
like that.
Right. Yeah, it is.
Oh, shout out to Costas.
Okay, Costa.
No, I need to do one more. One more.
Costa.
That was really good.
That was good. That was a good poll.
I need to watch more Wizards, I guess.
Oh, what is that? I feel like
weird ass.
Is it Dyson Daniels?
Yeah, that's Dyson Daniels.
No, it's not.
Nope. Okay. That's pretty good though. Nice call. So he's
got a low number. He's in the West and he's younger and he's probably shooting guard, small forward.
Okay.
Who is that?
And he shoots like over his head.
Over his head. Ooh, I don't know who this is.
Man, why am I so bad at this? Let's see. Young guy. He hits him with so he's doing a little jab pull up to his left hand.
I don't know.
Who might this be? Somebody. Trey Murphy?
Maybe. Throw it out.
Nope.
No, he's in the East, not the West. What am I talking about? That was my fault.
Oh,
He's
okay,
in the
okay,
East.
okay.
Yeah.
He's in the East. Okay. Yeah, that's your fault.
He's just not in the he's not in the Southeast though. He's not in the Southeast. He's
not in the Southeast. Okay.
Yeah.
For this, let's see. So he's not in the Southeast. Could this be Thompson? No.
No, I don't think that.
Yeah. I think
Over the head? Over the head? That's like a big man shot.
Yeah, but that how many big men are
it's
ball
not
like
a big man. Yeah, he's definitely at least a shooting guard, maybe a small forward.
Yeah, probably a small forward. It doesn't look like
I mean, he's got a little bit of swagger. He kind of walked off like he already made it. Like he
definitely made that shot for sure. Yeah. Somebody on, let's see. Cavs? Could it be the Cavs? DeAndre Hunter?
Yeah, we'll throw it out.
I think this is DeAndre Hunter. Damn. I suck.
Not on the Cavs. So he's in the
I see a Bub Carrington from Costas. I don't think that's Bub.
There's no way. Bub has more hair. Yeah, not Bub. Still a lower number though. What's that last division?
Wait, so he's in the Southeast?
No, he's not.
Central? No, Atlantic. He's in the Atlantic.
Yeah.
Okay, so imagine if he's a Celtics player. Yeah, so it's the Celtics, Knicks, Raptors, Nets, or Sixers.
Yeah.
Could this be a
Wait, I got it. I think I got it.
Grady Dick. God damn it. That's so clearly Grady Dick. It's like once you see the name, you're like, yep, that's clearly that dude. Okay, can we do one more? I'm actually having
we can do one more.
Okay.
These are fun.
I have no idea. Maybe these would be good for breakout videos.
Yeah, let's do. They added this. It's called Jump Shot Classics. Let's try one of these. This is like a throwback. All right. So I already got this one. Let's see if you can get it.
Oh wait. Oh, so I can see all the players. So this is
So this is old Cavs team. Probably like this Kevin Love, Kyrie, Dellavedova. So it was 2016. They got Shumpert there too.
Okay, so this is. Am I crazy that this is a black dude?
I think you are correct.
Okay. Is this?
I forgot who this was.
I feel like this is wrong, but JJ Hickson?
Yeah, I don't think that's Hickson. It is not.
Okay. I don't think it's Thompson. I don't think Thompson's going to be pulling that three. No. It looks like a big dude, though, no?
Yeah, I think they're running double big with Love and this guy.
Shit, man. I feel really dumb. Because my initial thought was like J.R. Smith, but it's a big man. So I'm like, I have no idea, dude.
Oh, I know I got him earlier, but I forgot.
Who's on this team? So it's on the court right now. It's LeBron, Love.
Yeah, no LeBron. Yeah, Shumpert, Dellavedova.
Well, LeBron makes the. Oh, that's not LeBron making the pass?
No, that's Kyrie.
Oh, okay.
Then you have, Jeff Teague, Al Horford, Kent Bazemore, Kyle Korver, and
I don't know. But this is so LeBron's on this team though.
Yeah, but I don't think that's not LeBron shooting. Who came off the bench for that team?
I see a Damian. Is it Damian James or Dame? I see a Damon Jones, but is it No, I don't know who.
Yeah, I don't think he was on this team.
No. Yeah, wrong time frame. Imagine if it's just LeBron.
There's no way it's not.
So he would be setting that screen. I don't know. Nance Jr.? I don't think it's Nance Jr.,
I
but
don't think he was on this team either. Yeah, he's not even in it.
okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
No one guesses in chat. We can give up.
Nah, we can give up.
Oh, Channing Frye.
Oh,
Channing
yeah.
Frye. Oh my goodness.
Man,
Oh my goodness. All right, do you want to
it
do one
was Channing
more?
Frye. Yeah, let's do one more.
The classic or the other one?
Um, let's do classic.
Okay. Oh, I know this one.
Mellow.
Yeah, it's Mellow. That's Mellow. That was easy.
Yes.
There we go.
All
There we
right,
go.
we can end on a win for
Yeah,
me.
we can
We
end
can
on
end
that.
on a win for me. That's fun, dude. Yeah, we should do
Yeah.
that as some summertime content here.
Yeah,
Just
it's a
what's the website called?
it's called Jump Shot. Oh, it's
Okay.
called Batter Up, but then there's because that's for baseball, and then you go up and you can hit the basketball. That one's called Jump Shot.
Okay. Well, shout out to Jump Shot. Make sure you check that website out. I'm sure if you were listening on the podcast, you were just like, what the hell just happened? But go to our YouTube channel at Green Envy Pod. Make sure you're liking and subscribing there. Alex, thank you so much. Appreciate all the work that you've been doing. Shout out to everybody that was active in the chat today. Shout out to Costas. Shout out to Birkin. Shout out to who are the other people that were active in the chat, Alex? You remember any names?
We got Jordan, the guy for Damien. Damien's guy. We have Nathan, and we got Bonaroni.
And Bonaroni. Shout out to everybody in the chat. That's going to do it for this week's episode of Green with Envy. Make sure that you are following us on all of our social media at Green Envy Pod. Make sure you are liking and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Anything else, Alex?
No, it was a fun episode.
Fun episode, dude. All right, everybody. Peace.